Hi guys. This is recording. All right, I'm gonna begin my presentation. My name is Mike, also as Han-Chao. This is my presentation, brain, memory, and sleep. And then just so that you guys are watching, I'm gonna start by asking you guys a question. Why a good night's sleep is so important to learning? Just take a minute there. Uh, Try to come up with some answers. Why do you think that? Why do you think that good night's sleep is important to learning? And then majority will say, so well, a good night's sleep will set me right. And then if I don't have a good night's sleep, I cannot function. I cannot remember anything. And yes, that's actually very true. And I'm gonna go down to the science part of it, the back end of it, biology part of it, so we understand completely why a good night's sleep is so important to memorize into learning. Now, as you can see here, the hippocampus, that's this part right here. So hippocampus, just like what I have the definition right here, it's an information inbox of your brain. Very good at receiving new information and hold on to them. So pretty much it's fair to say that any from the time that you wake till the time that you bed at night, all of the information that was going into that was input from your sensors, from your eyes, from your ear, from your mouth, from the thing that you touch, everything is going to input into your hippocampus. It's your short-term memory. And then and there's short-term memory, there's long-term memory, which is the neocortex. Now that neocortex stores long-term memory. Long-term memory such can be like last week or a month ago. So if I were to ask you, can you recall the last time you went to a concert? And you can say, yeah, I went to the concert of who and who, and I went with my buddies, and then we had this very seat at the very front. We had so much fun. First song is this, the last song is this, and the singer did encore. So all of this information was stored in your long-term memory. And then, so speaking of memory, we have three type of memory: the sensory memory, working memory, and long-term memory. So long-term memory, just like what I was describing before, that you went to a concert. Sensory memory is the memory that was you are sensing right now. So I have this mug right here. I'm touching this. It's rigid. It's rigid. So the memory is input into my brain. It's going into my sensory memory. So I remember that this mug is rigid. It's called water. I got liquid in there. Take a sip. Oh, it's kind of dry. Yeah, and then tastes really sweet, a little bit bubbly. All these are my sensors, and it's going into my sensory memory. And then the working memory between sensory memory and long-term memory is the memory that you're working at it. So going back to the long-term memory, now I'm just gonna recall what I have for dinner last night, and then okay, I have a beef stew last night. So as I'm recalling from my long-term memory, this is a memory I'm currently attending right now. So that's the working memory. And now for the long-term memory, sub-describe it to three different kinds of long-term memory. There's a procedure, episodic, and semantic. So what's procedure? So procedure memory is motor skill. You can think about like riding a bike. So when you like riding a bike or mowing the lawn, so that's your procedural memory. Episodic memory, memory of the past event or experience. So going back to the concert example that I just gave a little bit earlier, went to the concert last night, what happened, who I went with, what did I wear, and who's the singer. The semantic memory, it has to do with knowledge, fact, and understanding. So let's say we are currently living in on Earth, and it has a moon. There's a moon going around the Earth, and the Earth is orbiting around the sun, and And then we have 4 seasons. So the further we get to the sun, the hotter it is. So it's summer. The further away we are, then it's winter. So that's my understanding of astronomy, along with the fact. And these are also mental memories. Next one is the sleep stage. So we just a quick recap. We have talked about the biology of the different part of the brain, hippocampus and neocortex, the storage of long-term and short-term memory. And we'll talk about different type of memory. Now we're gonna talk about sleep. And after I talk about sleep, I'm gonna integrate everything together. So we know why sleep is so important to us, to learning and to memory. So sleep, there's different stages. As you can see here, on the very top is stage 1. That's the stage you are just falling asleep. And as you can see, the stage is lighter in blue, symbolize that we are at the very light stage. The second stage is it is still light sleep, which is a stage that you fall asleep, but you are still at the light sleep. Your heart rate goes down, your body temperature started to drop. It's a little bit deeper than stage 1, but you're still at light stage. Now, stage 3 and 4, it's what we typically call deep sleep. And then this is where your muscle, your brain is emitting the delta wave, telling you to repair your entire body. And now there's the deepest sleep is REM sleep. That's rapid eye movement. So in this stage of sleep, you are actually dreaming. You're dreaming. And sometimes we say that, oh, I wake up, I can remember my dream. Well, chances are you dream, but and like I can remember my dream, or I don't remember if I dreamed. Chances are you are actually dreaming, you just couldn't remember it. Doesn't mean that you didn't dream. Now, now we have like this 4 stage. Stage 1, stage 2, light sleep. Stage 3, stage 4, deep sleep. And there's deep sleep and dreaming sleep. Now, as we look at this graph, so typically a sleep cycle from stage 1 to dreaming to light sleep to deep sleep. A typical cycle is about 90 minutes. So for roughly an 8-hour sleep, it's about 5 cycles. So each cycle is like 1.5 hours, that's 90 minutes. 1.5 times 5, that's 7.5 hours, so roughly 8 hours. Now, if you look at this chart here, now in the first half of the night, let's say you go to bed at 12, for the simple math, you go to bed at 12, you wake up at 8, that's 8 hours sleep. First 4 hours or first half, you get more of a deep sleep. That means that your body actually gets to rest and repair yourself. And then the second half of sleep, you actually dreams more. Now, this is very important. I want you guys to know that in the second half of sleep, you get more dream. First half, you get more deep sleep than dream. This is actually very important. I'm going to cover it a little later. But just remember, the first half of the night, you get more of a deep sleep. Second half of the night, you get more dreams. First half, deep. Second half, dreams. All right, so now moving into how sleep, the brain and the memory, everything all integrated together. So how our sleep achieve memory consideration, there's actually 3 mechanisms. It says here it's a file transfer, replay, and integration and association. File transfer, think of it like a computer file transfer that you have a USB drive. That's your flash memory, your short-term memory. Plug it into the computer. You're going to transfer everything in that flash memory into the C drive. That procedure is called file transfer. So when you are sleeping, you're downloading your short-term memory into your long-term memory. That's one way that the sleep achieve memory consolidation. Second part is replace. So as we learn, let's say learning how to ride a bike. So when we are learning how to ride a bike, we are we learn that, oh, we have to hold on to the steering. We have to keep pedaling. When we turn, either turn left or turn right, we don't adjust our central mass so we don't fall over. And when we're turning, we probably will stop paddling. So all of those procedures that I just described actually right. Hi Doug, I'm halfway through my presentation. I was hoping I'm so glad that you can join me. Hi Doug, I'm so glad you can join me. I'm just halfway through my presentation, and then everything is in recording, so feel free to watch later. So I'm just getting through like how sleep achieve memory consolidation. First, with file transfer, then second is the replay. So I'm just talking about the replay, so that um I was just talking about learning to ride a bike. So different part of the brain will code different part of the stuff we learn. So as we learn, we recall all the stuff that we used to learn, and brain will receive those memory from different part of our brain and replay it. So going back to the bike example, the memory of the part that I remember how to hold on to the steering, the part that I have to pedal and then adjust my center of the center of gravity as I turn. All those are stored in a different part of the brain. And as I was recall how to do it, my mind will repeat it in my head. Okay, and when during sleeping, your mind will actually replay that in your head, but only 10 times faster. So that's how sleep achieve a memory consolidation. The last part is integration and association. So which means that uh, when you learn something new, it doesn't like when I learn how to use this cell phone right here, um, it my brain just doesn't remember it on its own. It's actually integrated and associated with any of the related memory I have. So if I were to remember learn how to use this smartphone, it's gonna integrate it with all my past knowledge about how to use maybe use another smart device, how to use my memory and knowledge about how to use a computer. All those is gonna integrated integrated together, and then that's how like sometimes when you go to sleep, you have this dilemma or problem you don't know how to solve, and then when you go to sleep, you wake up with a solution. That's because your new problem is integrated and associated with your past knowledge, so you wake up with a solution. Now the deep sleep. So we talk about the how like different part of your brain remember different part of different type of knowledge, the type of memory, the sleep. Now let's talk about the deep sleep. So as I was referring to this chart earlier, in the first half of the night, you get more of a deep sleep. In the second half of the night, you get more of a dream. So in deep sleep, in deep sleep, just like I was talking about earlier in the memory consolidation, during the deep sleep, it's when your brain is downloading memories from your short-term memory from the hippocampus to the neocortex, the long-term memory. So that's what I just that's called the file transferring. Just going back to this slide here, the file transfer. So that's how this is very important. So in the first half of the night, you get more of deep sleep. So during deep sleep, not only your body is repair yourself on the cellular level, it's gonna fix everything that's wrong. Like repair your lung, repair your every part of your body, and it's gonna recharge your immune system. But when it comes to learning, it's gonna be downloading those short-term memory and then keep it in the long-term memory. So that's a deep sleep. Now doing dreams are a little bit different. Dream is actually when you are when you're dreaming, the brain is busy we're just reading off here, replenish neurotransmitter that organize neural network essentially for remembering, learning, performance, and problem. In English, that's what it means. It's it's replaying the memory that you have. It's integrating and it's integration and association those new memory with the old memory. And then so this is a stage that is critical for anything that you learn. So if you want to integrate any new things together with the old ones, you do not want to miss any of the REM sleep. Now, going back to this chart here, remember I said that the first half of the night, you get more of a deep sleep, and second half of the night, you get more of a dream. So let's say you typically go to bed at 12, wake up at 8, and all of a sudden say, I have an early test tomorrow. I want to wake up 2 hours ahead to study. So by missing 2 hours of sleep, so instead of waking up at 8, you now wake up at 6. From 12 to 6, you only have 6 hours of sleep. You don't just miss a quarter of your sleep. You actually miss more than 50% of your dream. So what that means is, even though that, you know how we talk about your memory is being downloaded during the deep sleep, but it's actually integrated and replayed during your dream. So when you miss the later 2 hours of your sleep, you actually miss more than 50% of your dream. That means all of those memory that you learned on the previous day doesn't get integrated, associated, and replayed as much in your brain. So you may have the knowledge, but you don't you may not know how to use it well. So it is essential for us, anybody, to get 8 hours of sleep or like 5 cycles. And then, so it comes to, okay, so how to sleep to a better grade? Well, it's actually quite simple. You review after you wake up, and you review before you go to bed, so that your brain is freshly, before bed, your brain is freshly with the knowledge that you want to absorb, and you want to review again after you wake up. And that's why when we are younger in school, that's instructor keeps saying, just review, because when you keep reviewing, you keep burning this knowledge again and again into your brain. And of course, just what I just said, don't burn the midnight oil, because when you burn the midnight oils, you are actually going to miss a lot of integration and association of your new knowledge into the old, the new memory into the old memory. So how to get a good night's sleep? So first of all, you want to have a regular sleeping schedule. So let's say you typically go to bed at 12, wake up at 8. You want to set those times. Doesn't matter if today is Monday or Wednesday or Friday or Saturday and Sunday, you want to keep going to bed at the same time. So you want to train your body. So when it comes to 12, oh, it's time for bed. So you'll go to bed and you do your things before bed, and you want to be falling asleep at 12, wake up at 8. So when your body is used to the schedule, so it comes around 12 or close to 12, your body will slowly to feel tired. And when you wake up at 8, you will feel recharged. Keep it cool, as in keep your room temperature cool. It is actually easier to fall asleep in the room that's slightly cooler than the room that's warmer. Yeah. And the other thing is keep calm. Keep calm means that anything like 1 or 2 hours before bed, you don't want to do anything that excites you. Like you don't want to watch an action movie or kung fu movie, or you don't want to watch anything that is too sad. You don't want to watch anything that will stir your emotion too much. Like maybe you want to do meditating, a little bit of yoga. Maybe you want to read something, but you don't want to read something that will stir up your emotion. You don't want to read something that will stir up your emotion. You want to keep your you want to keep calm, because anything that's too exciting, it's gonna mess with your brain, and then it's gonna be hard to fall asleep. And of course, there's no alcohol, no coffee, and no tea. Coffee and tea, I think that's pretty simple, because there's caffeine, and caffeine is gonna affect your quality of your sleep. And the reason I say no alcohol is because that remember what I was telling earlier, that during deep sleep, your brain is downloading information. And during dream, your brain is actually integrating and replaying all of those memories in your head. So if you drink alcohol, too much alcohol, it's gonna affect how the information is downloaded and how the information is how the knowledge is being integrated into your memory. So there's times that you get wasted and then you wake up the next day morning. You sort of remember you went to a party, but after you get drunk, you can't really remember anything. So that's the effect of alcohol when it comes to downloading and memorizing information. And the next thing is no cell phone. So I'm sure pretty much everybody knows that when you use a cell phone, it emits a blue light. And blue light is actually a very, very strong stimulant to our brain. So when you are lying in bed in the middle of the night, you can fall asleep, you decide to use a cell phone. That's actually really, really bad. First is when you are using your cell phone in the dark, your pupil is actually dilated. So and when you use your cell phone, it emits more light into your pupil. And then the blue light is a very, very strong stimulant to your brain. So when you're actually on your phone trying to fall asleep, you can, because it's such a strong stimulant that you keep your brains awake. So no cell phone at bed. And you want to create a restful environment and can't sleep, get up. So it's going back to the cell phone thingy. The only thing you want to be doing in bed is sleep. So when you wake up in the middle of the night, say, and you have a hard time falling back asleep, what you actually want to do is actually you want to get up, maybe read or meditate. You want to keep calm. You don't want to do anything too exciting, like watching a movie. What you want to do is maybe do something really calm, maybe like meditating, maybe read a book. When you feel tired, you will then go back to bed. This will train your brain and your body say, oh, bed is only for sleeping. So when you hit the bed, your body will tell you, oh, I'm on bed. I'm in the bed right now. I should be sleeping. Instead of tossing and turning, because if you do that, then next time next time when you wake up in the middle of the night, you cannot go into sleep because you train your brain to toss and turn and not fall back to sleep. Then the last one is second last one is limit daytime nap. Just like a baby, if you nap too much during the day, it's gonna affect your sleep. Because you are well rested, you don't need more rest. That's why it's gonna affect the quality of your sleep at night. And then of course you want to improve physical activity in your daily routine. Now exercise is actually really good for you. Not that they only clear your head, not only it clear your head, increase your stamina, but you also drains out any of the extra energy you have before bed. So if you do a little run in the afternoon, and at night, if you had a full day, do a little run in the afternoon, I'm sure but when it comes to 12 at your bedtime, you're ready for bed. And yeah, so these are some of the tips to have a good night's sleep. And then yeah, any questions? Sorry, Doug, I know you joined it halfway, but if you have any questions.
No, I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
I think it becomes really important because this was nicely done. Like you were able to say, here is how sleep impacts memory. Here is the importance of sleep. When we start looking at the notion of spaced repetition, playing again, file transfer, the timing of when we sleep becomes so very important because our brain is storing and recovering information. And it would be sort of like you're cleaning up the house and all of a sudden you make dishes, but you go on vacation. Well, you come back and the dishes are still there. Or if you leave early and go to work, well, the dishes are still there. Your brain hasn't had a chance to process it. And this is what we're really finding, that sleep is a really key part. And when we study, the old day of just, cramming. Well, you cram, but you didn't remember it.
That's right. Exactly.
So basically, we take a look at the values and beliefs of learning systems where all of a sudden it was just memorize and dump.
Mm-hmm.
where the whole part of the creativity, the connections between memories, the relationship between ideas is gone.
Yes.
Because your brain learns that, oh, I don't need to store it. I don't need to recall this because I just need to keep it till tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. I dump it. And the brain says, why should I put it into work storing it?
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
I use the analogy as it'd be like if you made a whole bunch of dishes in your house, but you knew you had a house cleaner who'd come back, and when you come home, it's all cleaned up.
Yep, yep.
You don't have to do
Don't
the
have to do
work to put
anything.
it
Yep.
away. You just make the dishes. So I really like that part of it, and the part that really struck me was the fact about the REM sleep.
Yep.
Getting up early is actually counterproductive. You're better off sleeping to your normal time and just doing review when you get up.
Yes. Like let's say if your work is in a factory, assembly line, maybe you don't need that much of creativity. Maybe it's okay to get up an hour or two early, but in the long run, if you are learning, your job requires you to do any critical thinking. You don't want to miss that 8 hours sleep.
Yeah. So what was a highlight for you in your learning
Sorry?
in getting ready for this presentation?
Yes, I think the highlight is definitely like I would say definitely the research. Like even though the internet is very, very convenient, but it's and this is actually such a almost common sense topic. But when I research into it, there's still a little bit of a conflicting voice. Like one website says this, the other website says this, and it's I have to literally go through like a dozen other I have to go through another like I have to go through a lot of critical go through a lot of reputable resources, read everything, come up and then find out all of the little details, all of the information that was hidden in the detail in order to realize that, oh, this is why one website is saying this, the other website is saying that. I mean, essentially they are all correct, but they are not, not all the websites include all the little fine details. And then, so yeah, that's definitely the most troubling and also the highlight of my research and this presentation.
Well, you picked a great topic because it's one of the things that we're learning more and more about is this relationship with sleep, how it impacts the brain, memories, this creation of memories, the storage, the ability to recall memories, how memories are, interconnected with one another.
Yes.
20 years ago, we thought sleep was when the brain rested.
Yeah.
And so it's only recently that we realize that our brain is more active when we're sleeping.
Actually, it is true. That's right.
Because it's actually house cleaning. It filters off all those other things. It just gets focused.
Yes. Exactly.
So as far as, let's say, working, the brain is working far more at night than when we're during the day.
That's right.
Because it's a really focused, intentional work.
Yeah, like during at night, they actually do a lot of like maintenance, but while it's maintenance, it's actually going back to what happened during the day, and they clean it up, they consolidate it, and put it into somewhere useful. They are actually more busy at night than during the day.
And that's why when you talked about the blue light, why it's so disruptive.
Yeah.
Because it activates parts of the brain that it's trying to shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So it can focus in on other things.
That's right.
Excellent. No, I really liked what you presented here. Sorry, I had another engagement, so I had to sort of rush back here to get to it. So
no, it's fine. Thank you so much for attending. Yeah.
Well, I try to get to as many as possible, but sometimes it depends on where they are, the time of the days, and
yes,
it's always a little difficult. There's going to be one tomorrow too.
Yeah. I already left a message say I'm
Yeah.
going to try and make it because I know how difficult it is to have a presentation with no one here.
Well, see, this is why I sort of made it, like, okay, just pretend it's a TED Talks.
Yes,
And just, like, because if you're doing a TED Talks, you'd practice one and you record them and watch them afterwards. And, you can take a look, but you just get the feel. But it's this piece here, this dialogue. And that's
yes,
why I get people to say, hey, if you go to a live one, you don't have to write that report. But if you
yes.
go to a recorded one, you have to write the reports. I'm trying to get people to um, take the advantage of going to the live one. But this one right now before Christmas always has low numbers because
Yes,
people are busy
always.
and other things.
Yes, always. Yeah. Because
So just
people are busy
another
with their
question.
lives.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
So just another question. Um, is there anything I could do in the course that would be different? Do you have any suggestions for me? Do you have any reactions to the course? What was your experience in the course? It's a very different course from some of the other PID courses. It's not
Um,
broken down into week 1, week 2, week 3. It's more directed. Here's what you do. Here's what you got to get. Is there any feedback, any additional information you could have wanted? Did you like having those weekly emails sent out to you?
Oh, I
Um,
love the weekly email. I love the weekly. Thank you so much. Because
okay,
we
so
actually because sometimes I may lose track of which week I am. So when you send those weekly email, you can remind us, oh, this is where I should be in the progress right now. So I find a weekly,
okay,
and
so
then
that was helpful to you.
and one of the things I really appreciated is your like the meeting with Doug, like the first Zoom session that we did first thing, because it actually uh sets me in it actually prepare me the course in the right direction. So you know how like we're
Okay,
all adults here, we should all be responsible in our learning in a way that when there's a core syllabus, we should all read everything and then but sometimes I think partly is because we are so used to information feed to us in a very easy way. So when we are reading the anything document, anything that is more than a paragraph or two paragraph, we tend to skim right through it. So sometimes you know how like they say the devils are in the details. So if you don't read it clearly, I actually miss out a lot of detail. But having the meeting with you it actually clears out a lot of things that I might not get, or a lot like it sends me off in the right direction. So I think that's really appreciative, and I think if you were to do this course again, you should continue doing that because I find it very helpful. The reflective writing always as helpful. And then what is that? Presentation observation. Yeah, it's I think it's extremely good that you try to get people to participate in the live one because in this course that you take when you take online, it's everybody has the convenience of doing it in their own pace, but at the same time, it kind of lack engagement. So if you were to try to get people to engage, because real learning actually occurs when your mind is being challenged. Just like when I am talking to you, you sort of challenge me or reminding me of what I said. And so when I actually present it and there's any other audience, they will actually challenge me with their question and actually make me learn more and make them learn more. So that's I think it's really appreciated if you try to get people to come to a live session. I think it's a great idea. It just I guess this is before Christmas, so this is why there's not much
well,
yeah.
yeah, no, it's crazy that way. Now, I'm thinking of modifying the one assignment and
Yes.
just get some feedback from you. What would you say if I told them that they had to, if they don't go to a live one, they actually have to watch 2 recorded and write up 2 reports? Do you think?
That's actually a
Do you
great
think?
idea. That's a great idea. Maybe
Do you,
you can because that would actually maybe you can maybe limit the word because I sort of recall that if you were to write one, it has to be like 500 word.
yeah,
Something like yeah. So let's say you can say because write two report is actually a lot of work, but at the same time you want to encourage them. So you can say you have to watch two, but each of them has to be like yeah, each of them has to be like maybe a little bit less word, like 400 word, something like that. Or yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I'm thinking of. But what I want people to do is say, well, hold it here. If I show up, because you have the question and answer period afterwards. So if you're watching the whole video, if you had a choice between engaging in a conversation like we have for 10, 15 minutes or having to write something up, no, I kind of like the conversation.
Yeah, that's the reason I try my best to attend the last one. Not only I'm interested in topic, but I write a lot of report. I don't want to write another one.
Yes, yes. So how many of the recorded ones do you think you watched to prepare yourself for this?
Actually, I actually didn't watch any recorded one because I'm actually
Well,
because of all the PIDB course, this is actually my second or third last one. So I've done a lot of presentation. I'm quite comfortable with it. So that's why I didn't watch any because I kind of know what I'm doing. And yeah.
So basically, but you went to quite a few live ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, you went to like 3 or 4 live ones because I saw you in a couple other groups too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, when I'm talking to them, say they watch at least 3 to 4 of the recorded ones, anyways.
Mm.
Because I mean, there's some great information on some of them.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Exactly.
So, all right. Well, thank you, Mike. I won't be able to process your mark until after Christmas because no one's there to do anything with it.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. I'm going to stop the recording now.
Okay.